Newswatch, the city of Waverly is under a state of emergency. What residents need to know about their water supply.
This is, in some ways, a big show.
Plus, what major cities are doing to prepare for raids as the Trump administration cracks down on immigration continues.
And in sports, Ohio men's basketball got a big win over the weekend. Newswatch starts right now.
Residents in Waverly, Ohio are under a state of emergency and are not to use their water until further notice.
The Waverly Fire Department says there's a leak in the Waverly water line. Waverly Water and Sewer Department is trying to isolate and repair the issue and needs all water pressure available to locate the issue. Good evening, I'm Morgan Anderson.
And I'm Reese Thompson. Welcome to Newswatch. This is no use order excludes critical users, including healthcare facilities. Using a little water as possible will help the water department to fix it sooner.
In the meantime, the Pike County YMCA is giving out water for another half an hour. Each family will get 1 gallon per person. Switching gears, let's take it over to forecaster Steve Nudlick. Steve, it's feeling like a spring day. What is going on compared to last week?
Yeah, it's feeling beautiful outside, and that's all thanks to a high pressure system that has moved in throughout the past 24 hours. It's kind of come in through the middle of the country, and it's brought with it this warm air, and it's really cleared out these clouds we've been dealing with, this cold air, and it's brought with it from the south warm air, and that's going to increase our temperatures to almost the mid 40s as we move in to the middle of the week. But it is going to bring with it cold overnight hours, as there's no clouds in the area to really keep that heat in, and so that's going to lead to some pretty chilly overnight temperatures. However, we are going to warm up as the day goes on because we're going to have so much sunshine to reheat our ground. Again, currently we have clear skies thanks to that high pressure system, and then a current temperature of 34 degrees, and that'll keep dropping as we head later into the night. Looking at the cloud cover again, there's not much there, so stay tuned for my full forecast.
A train derailed while loading cars early this morning in Scioto County because of a broken rail. The rail broke at the Norfolk Southern train yard, causing 8 cars to come off the track and 3 to flip over. The cars weren't holding toxic materials, but the spill made a mess of some soybeans. Cleanup should be complete by tomorrow afternoon. Officials believe the rail broke from the constant freezing and thawing of the rails as Ohio has warmer days and cooler nights. No one was hurt in the derailment.
Time is ticking in Nelsonville as the city continues its transition to a new form of government. Newswatch reporter Haley Hollinger is live in Nelsonville as the city council races to meet a key deadline. Haley, welcome. What is the latest from City Hall?
Morgan and Reese. Now, tonight's agenda may not look like much, but council members have some big decisions to make and not a lot of time. In fact, just a few hours ago, council called for a special meeting tomorrow night as well. Since issue 23 was passed by the voters in November, city officials have been preparing the city for a new government. But not knowing what council can and can't do has been one of their biggest obstacles. In the last few meetings, the council has been under the impression they cannot set wards for individuals to run in or even salaries for the new mayor and council members. To help, officials are forming an administrative committee made up of community members to guide the council. We should get an update about that committee tonight. As for tomorrow's special session, we can expect to see 2 different ordinances to help this transition. One of them would be to establish wards in the city. We will be sure to keep you posted on all the latest from City Hall, on air and online at WOUB.org. Reporting live for Newswatch, I'm Haley Hollinger in Nelsonville.
Thanks, Haley. Get back safe. Switching gears, Congress passed a law banning the Chinese ownership of TikTok in the United States. The popular social media app is at the center of a battle between security and free speech. Newswatch reporter Ariel Tupper spoke with experts familiar with the situation and has more on what a TikTok ban could mean.
It's been a confusing week for TikTok's 170 million American users. The app went dark on January 18th, but just days later, service was restored in the U.S. President Donald Trump delayed the law from going into effect for 75 days. The question being, can he do that? Dr. Edith DeShiel, director of the E.W. Scripps School of Journalism at Ohio University, says yes, he can.
Now, Trump hasn't done anything illegal yet. All he did was extend the ban. He didn't come right out and say there's no ban and he's not doing anything.
Although the extension was legal, it could have some serious implications. Dr. Janice Collins, professor at the E.W. Scripps School of Journalism, says she worries that if the ban goes through, citizens could lose their freedom of speech.
I believe there's a possibility, however, if we're not careful, that we're heading in the same direction. And I think that's an issue. That's a serious issue.
Although free speech is essential, so is preserving national security. DeShiel says that China could easily steal Americans' data.
China is a communist country. China has a law on the books that allows them to gather any type of data from anyone.
But she also says Americans should think about how much of their personal information they are giving to companies.
I mean, our privacy is pretty much non-existent now, but that doesn't mean we should stop fighting to protect what little privacy we have left.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Ariel Teppert.
President Trump hopes to find a U.S. buyer within the 75-day period. He continues to express his interest in Eli Musk or Larry Ellison buying the platform so TikTok can be used by all Americans.
President Trump is expected to sign an executive order banning transgender service members. Trump passed a similar ban during his first term in 2017, but Biden repealed it in 2021. This is one of several executive orders that will affect military procedures. Another will cut diversity, equity, and inclusion, also known as DEI programs. Critics say the executive orders are just a fear-mongering tactic.
I think the same thing about this effort that I do with the previous executive orders that the president issued, which is that these are glorified press releases meant to scare people, meant to create uncertainty, meant to push people towards discrimination of transgender people, and will be very difficult to enforce.
All this comes after Trump's nominee for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was sworn in Saturday. Hegseth said he will work to make major cultural changes to the military. Ohio's 4 sanctuary counties are obligated to work with federal immigration enforcement while the government ramps up immigration-related raids and arrests across the country. Although no sanctuary cities have been claimed in the Buckeye State, the 4 counties are Franklin, Mahoning, Lorain, and Hamilton. Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost says he hasn't received communication about deporting illegal immigrants in Ohio, but he does warn Ohio communities to cooperate with federal actions because federal law overrides local government on immigration policies.
ICE is making a move on President Donald Trump's illegal immigration policy, taking action on over 1,500 people. ICE reports nearly 1,000 arrests in detaining over 500 people in Metro Atlanta, Puerto Rico, Colorado, Los Angeles, Austin, and Chicago. The border Caesar says violent criminals are the targets, and the Illinois governor says ICE is going after nonviolent criminals in Chicago, which he says is too far.
They're going after people who are law-abiding, who are holding down jobs, who have families here, who may have been here for a decade or 2 decades, and they're often our neighbors and our friends.
ICE is making almost 75 arrests a day. The immigrants are now being flown off to Colombia. That's after Colombia and the United States threatened to raise tariffs on each other, but finally reached a resolution. A massive federal immigration roundup that snared nearly 1,000 people over the weekend continues on today, with multi-agency enforcement in several cities coast to coast. As Laura Geary has more on how cities and leaders are preparing.
This is, in some ways, a big show.
That's how Texas Democrat Representative Joaquin Castro sums up the nationwide immigration roundup.
I think that people generally agree if you have a convicted felon, they should be deported.
On that, there is bipartisan agreement.
If they are indeed criminals, yeah, they're going to be shipped back to their country of origin.
Including how that's done.
Look, everybody should be treated with dignity. Everybody should be treated the right way.
But it's the scope and speed that's concerning.
What Donald Trump is doing now is that he's causing chaos rather than addressing those things.
They're going after people who are law-abiding, who are holding down jobs, who may have been here for a decade or 2 decades.
Illinois is one of several states and territories where the operations are underway.
I had a 4-year-old crying, fearing deportation.
The state's Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights says a hotline to report possible ICE sightings has been ringing nonstop since Sunday's blitz began. Likewise for another such hotline in Arizona.
We've been getting a lot of calls, text messages about different possible raids.
Residents here, like those in other targeted cities, are fearful it's not just criminals the agents will handcuff.
It's a wide net seemingly being casted, and inevitably you'll have effects of racial profiling and upsetting a community that would otherwise collaborate with law enforcement.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Coming up, find out how a new Chinese technology is negatively affecting U.S. markets.
And a new research study in space could have the answers to problems down on Earth.
We're tracking rain towards the end of the week. Stay tuned to find out more.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow in Las Vegas, Nevada, we've got the biggest find of the season.
You can almost hear the cracking of the helmets in this scene.
And a hunt for treasures with boxes.
Some collectors actually consider themselves to be box collectors more than toy collectors.
I had some interesting toys, but I was never a box keeper.
It's the first time I've ever seen one with the original box.
Watch Antiques Roadshow next time from Springs Preserve.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
Migration is freedom to Black America.
African American migration was one of the most significant demographic transformations in the history of the United States.
If there's a Black American dream, it's to have the freedom to dream.
That decision to migrate, if that's not transformative, I don't know what is.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
Understanding the past gives a sense of the future. This is the first time that anyone has seen this in 2,000 years.
This is amazing.
Well, I'm excited now.
Pompeii is a battle against time.
You think I'm joking, but look at this. It did really happen.
Don't let anybody tell you who you are.
History teaches us to honor the past.
When you look back, you're like, wow, that was pretty special.
This is something that's actually altering the course of history.
You're charged with keeping these stories alive.
We've had beautiful weather in the area over the past 24 hours, and today was no different. We had a high of 41 and a low of only 26, which compared to last week is extremely warm. And again, sunny skies. This is due to a high pressure system that is in the area and dominating a majority of the Midwest, and that's really going to start pulling up this warm air from the Gulf, and that's going to start to increase our temperatures even more as we head into the middle of the week, and it's going to keep our skies pretty clear. As you can tell from this cloud map, you can tell that there's not many clouds throughout a majority of the Midwest states, as we're pretty clear due to that high pressure that just disperses any clouds in the area. Additionally, that's not going to let any rain get into our area until at least Thursday or Friday. On the downside, though, is our overnight temperatures are going to be pretty low because there's nothing to keep that temperature in overnight, so it's all going to radiate back into the atmosphere. So if you're heading out late at night, maybe wear a hat, a jacket, anything to keep yourself warm. For tonight, we'll have temperatures as low as 34 degrees, so maybe, yeah, just a hat if you have anywhere to go. And again, clear skies, so if you want to go looking at the stars or anything, tonight is a perfect night to do that. As we head into this is tonight, excuse me, we'll have lows as low as 26. Oh, our slide shut down, one moment. We'll have temperatures as low as 26 tonight with partly cloudy skies, and again, not many in the area, so that temperature will radiate off. You can tell here we're going to start to see these temperatures really move up from the south, and that's going to help make it feel, almost unseasonably warm, especially compared to last week. We'll have temperatures nearing 50 as we get to like Thursday or Friday, but that will bring with it some rain as it is going to have a lot more moisture due to that water in the Gulf. Taking a look at tomorrow, those clouds start to return with highs as high as 42 and then a low of only 32 because those clouds are in the area. Taking a look at tomorrow, we're going to have that high pressure system still sitting there dominating the area, so not much to speak of there. But as we look into Wednesday, we can start to see a front build, and that is what's going to start affecting us as we head into Thursday and Friday. And that's when you can start to expect maybe some clouds, potential rain. We are not too sure yet the severity or the amount of rain. It could be a few drops or it could be a substantial rain. Looking into the rest of our week, we're going to see on Friday, again, 80% chance of rain with a high of, again, 50. So it's going to feel really nice outside. So we don't have to really deal with clouds or coats. We can maybe just wear a sweatshirt if we're heading out to work in the morning. And on Saturday, we're going to have a high of 44, and those clouds are staying in the area. Sunday, we're going to have a high of 53, so it is going to feel great, especially with that rain out of the way. So expect some unseasonably warm temperatures.
You know what, unseasonably warm, Steve, I think I'll take it. But you mentioned, okay, tonight is a good night to watch the stars. Do you like to do that? And where do you do that in Athens? Is there a good spot?
Oh, yeah, there is. It's called Radar Hill. It's a clear, hill, and you can look up and have a clear shot of the sky. It's great if you want to look at constellations.
No kidding. I've never thought to do that.
My only guess was the ridges.
Right.
Yeah.
Too, yeah.
Okay, so warm temperatures, less clouds in the sky. We're looking at a complete 360 from
Compared
last
to
week.
last week, absolutely.
I'm ready for some vitamin D.
So
I am in need. So
no kidding. Thanks, Steve, for the forecast. Folks, coming up next, scientists are researching ways to repair heart damage with the help of space.
Crazy. Mandy Gaither has the details on how the International Space Station is playing a part in helping patients on Earth.
What do heart muscle cells, NASA's SpaceX Crew 8 mission, and the International Space Station have in common? They're all part of a new out-of-this-world research that launched in March. Like, literally.
The astronauts were amazing. They conducted many experiments, procedures on the ISS.
Chun-Wei Shi and her team at Emory University School of Medicine sent these heart muscle cells to space to see if microgravity would help them better survive. Right now, she says a damaged heart muscle can't regrow itself, but there's hope that transplanting new cells can one day help repair that damage. However, many new cells die after being transplanted into a patient.
So if you can find ways to improve cell survival, then those methods will be helpful for the cell transplantation applications.
After about a week in space, she got the cells back and says the ones that survived went through molecular changes which allowed them to live. She says those changes were likely due to the stress of space travel, and if that could be replicated, it could help future cells withstand heart repairs.
If we can turn up those molecules on Earth, we might be able to help the cells survive and overcome other stressful situations.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
U.S. tech stocks dropped after a China-based artificial intelligence company announced its new AI tool. DeepSeek has a ChatGPT-like feature called R1. Analysts say it has capabilities of other models, but it's cheaper to operate. DeepSeek officials say they spent under $6 million to train the AI, whereas other companies are spending upwards of billions for the same work. Market analysts say DeepSeek could result in major market movements in the near future.
If you're looking to buy a house, you might want to keep your eye on the market this year. It all depends on the housing supply and mortgage rates. Building new homes is expensive because of the rising cost of materials. Fees also tack on the hefty cost of a new home. However, what experts call a, quote, Trump bump, there could be tax cuts, pro-business policies, and potentially deregulation.
We know already that roughly $90,000 of the cost of a new home is compliance with regulations and various fees. So it seems like there's ample opportunity to revisit those regulations and try to cut back to find more effective solutions to help address this housing shortage that we've seen.
Experts also say to look out for decreasing mortgage rates.
Egg prices show no sign of decreasing into the new year. A price outlook from the USDA estimates egg prices will increase about 20% this year. That is compared to about 2.2% for food prices in general. Government data shows the average price of a dozen eggs was $4.15 last month. According to the Consumer Price Index, that's about a 36% increase from last December. The high price is being driven by the ongoing bird flu outbreak and inflation. Super Bowl watch parties are right around the corner. Here's what you can expect for prices. For your watch party, you can budget about the same as last year for store-bought foods. A Wells Fargo report says if you're feeding 10 people a platter of chicken wings, guacamole, chips, and beer, it'll cost $139. This is just 10 cents more than last year's price. The cost of beer and some food items have gone up while others have gone down.
Next in sports, Ohio men's basketball played in a crucial MAC game over the weekend. And find out which Ohio coach reached a career milestone this weekend after the break.
Here's to an undisturbed night.
Let's hope.
I just want to be with you.
Would you like me to make you another coffee?
No, that was horrible.
Work is indeed a good distraction for matters of the heart.
A little bit far-fetched, don't you think?
I do like it when the house is full and happy.
So do I.
What time is it?
It's party time.
We can all be together. It's good to be back.
Sunday on WOUB.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
No! It's my neighbour. I think someone's shot him.
Mrs. Potts, I can't have you interfering.
Judith Potts.
Susie Harris.
I'm Bex Starling, the vicar's wife.
I'm trying to find out who killed my neighbour.
And you've decided to have a little poke around.
Every time I see you, there are more of you.
We're not going to stop investigating, are we?
You couldn't have just started a book club, could you?
The Marlowe Murder Club on Masterpiece Mystery.
Regardless of your stage of life, whether you're starting your first job, getting the keys to a new home, or enjoying retirement, it's never too early or too late to create an estate plan to care for loved ones and support the causes that are meaningful to you. WOUB Public Media is pleased to have partnered with Giving Dogs, a free resource for building an estate plan that fits your needs and protects the people and causes you care about. Visit WOUB.org and click the support tab to get started today.
You have unleashed the best storytelling ever.
Migration is freedom to Black America.
There's much about me that you don't know.
Let's go, baby.
The age of dinosaurs still continues.
You didn't know that, did you?
I think we may have solved our mystery.
All of these movements are expressions of hope.
It's better than any movie script I've ever read.
It's an incredible story.
Ohio men's basketball returned to the Convo last Friday night, where they had a conference matchup with Kent State. After a hot start in MAC play, the Bobcats were looking to get back on the winning side after dropping back-to-back games against Akron and Eastern Michigan. Coming into the game, Ohio was without two key starters, A.J. Clayton and Aiden Hadaway. But this allowed some new faces to step in for the Bobcats, including freshman Elijah Elliott, who made his first career start. In their new roles, the Bobcats delivered. Both teams played a physical brand of basketball, and the game saw many lead changes. But the Ohio defense prevailed and did not allow a single Kent State field goal in the last 3 minutes of gameplay. The Bobcats held on for a 61-59 win and remained undefeated in the Convo this season. Taking a look at the MAC standings, Ohio is currently sitting in at third behind Akron and Miami. The Bobcats will have two big tests this week. On Tuesday, they'll look to stay undefeated at home against Toledo. Then on Saturday, they'll travel down to Miami to take on the Red Hawks. Ohio women's basketball also picked up a big win this weekend when they defeated Eastern Michigan for their first home win since December 3rd. The victory gave head coach Bob Bolden his 200th career win. Coach Bolden is the first coach in Ohio women's history to reach the 200-win mark. The Bobcats were led by sophomore Bailey Tabling, who recorded her first career double-double. She put up 21 points and grabbed a career-high 10 rebounds. Senior Kennedy Watkins had a good game as well, putting up 15 points. Coach Bob Bolden was pleased with Bailey's performance.
I thought she did a good job of doing a little bit of everything. You mentioned the double-double, so obviously she was rebounding it well, but she wasn't just a three-point shooter tonight. She was aggressive and she got to the rim, and I thought her choices of when to go to the rim were excellent. I thought she did a great job of her decision-making.
With playoffs just around the corner, it's another busy week for high school basketball in the TVC. Even with no boys games tonight, there is still plenty of action on the girls' side. Starting off with the top team in the TVC hockey, the Waterford Wildcats. Waterford will head to Fort Fry to take on the Cadets, and both teams are looking to extend their win streak in this non-conference battle. In the Wildcats' last game, senior Kendall Surrey eclipsed 1,000 career points and will look to add on to that tonight. In the TVC Ohio, River Valley and Vinton County will face off, with both teams looking to climb up in the standings. The first time these teams played, River Valley took care of business, winning 56-34. Taking a look at the TVC Ohio standings, Athens is still undefeated and holds a strong lead at the top. River Valley and Vinton County are in the middle of the pack at 3rd and 4th place, but they both still have a chance to make some noise as they are right behind Alexander. We are in the heart of basketball season, so for more Ohio and local high school sports content, head over to woub.org/sports. Let's send it back to the desk.
It is true, we are weak and defenseless, but resistance is the only reply.
Life in the ghetto was a chain of resistance.
It required unbelievable courage.
So this is the story that gives you power to live.
Jews did not go to their death as sheep to the slaughter. They fought back.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
You can turn things around at any time.
You are more than prepared, okay? We have it in the tank.
NFTs have expanded the scope of what I'm able to do.
Something I've been trying to sell for years, sold out in 3 days. It's like mind-blowing to me.
When I play basketball, I feel like there's nothing that could stop me.
You don't see that many people that are Asian ranked on ESPN, and I wanted to show people that I could do that.
I saw myself spiraling downhill with my health.
He went from an insane amount of pills, and now he's doing 150 miles a week at almost 70 years old.
California now possesses a state-of-the-art prison.
We were placed in solitary confinement for decades.
Let's do a nonviolent act. Let's do a hunger strike.
It's not 100%, but I'm not going to quit.
If the worst thing happens, we'll still be a team.
Americans are taking cruises to the Caribbean for their vacations. 19 million Americans are expected to cruise this year, which is 4.5% more than last year. While Americans overall are choosing to go on a cruise, about a third of them are expected to go to the Caribbean. It also makes 2025 the third year in a row for cruise popularity. The record-breaking numbers mark a post-pandemic rebound, surpassing other travel options.
We're tracking some rain as we head towards the end of the week, so be on the lookout for that. But we do have some more mild temperatures, so we're looking at 46, 50 degrees. So as we head into the end of the weekend, we will be seeing some warmer temperatures with maybe a few raindrops here or there. So maybe pack an umbrella if you have any weekend plans. Excuse me.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching here at Newswatch. And if you are interested in any more info, head over to woub.org. I'm Morgan Anderson.
And I'm Reese Thompson. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.
Support for a PBS NewsHour is proudly provided